Welcome, Jeffrey B. Healing Shame. Today is August 25th. I want to briefly share with you um, that I had a spiritual awakening today, and I bonded with my wounded, hurt little inner boy, and it was beautiful. I feel amazing, and I feel at peace. So I'm going to read the reading, but I'm not going to comment on that. I'll briefly share with you after the reading what happened and what I felt. So let's go ahead and get the reading for you. August 25th, acting out. By working the ACA program, we learn to recognize when we are thinking like a victim or persecutor and to talk about it. Big Red Book, page 9. Since the laundry list was such an important part of our original identification when we found ACA, we used that mindset, how we were wronged, during our early recovery, to reveal the full extent of our grief and to unstuff our emotions. However, we needed to reflect on our past through the eyes of the victims we'd become. Step work revealed how our past not only victimized us, but taught many of us to be cruel, vindictive, and scathing when we decided we were going to pay them back. Then we saw the other laundry list and found further self identification. Along with being victims long ago, many of us were angry, frustrated children who learned how to hurt others and hurt them we did for many, many years. Having promised ourselves as children that we would never be like our parents, we stood now as adults with their same behaviors. But in ACA, we soon found we were not alone in this paradox. In our meetings, we sat together, each of us victims and victimizers. We lifted our heads, removed our shame, shame be gone, and understood we could not have turned out any other way. We started recovering with our new ACA family. The affirmation: on this day, if I feel like striking out, I will take a time out so I can take a time in. I will focus inward, reflect, and talk about it with a fellow traveler. And that is copyright 2013 by adult children of alcoholics and dysfunctional families. On my way to get breakfast this morning, I did some positive self-talk, reassuring my little boy it was going to be a good day, sort of like my mother used to do for me when I was in about third grade or so, and I was transitioning from one grade to the next, and I was very scared back then. Today, also, I get equally scared in public. I have social anxiety, and I struggle with that. But today, I reassured my little child that it's going to be a good day. I smiled at people. I was friendly. I embraced life. I stood tall. I lifted my head up, and I felt so confident, so peaceful. And on the way back, I was telling my little boy that he's beautiful. I'm so glad he's here. His body is beautiful, is perfect, and is made just perfect in the image and likeness of God, his creator, and is a work of art and is so beautiful and is just perfect. And I love him the way he is, and he's just perfect the way he is. And I love everything. His beautiful body, he's a beautiful little boy, and I love my beautiful boy. And I said those words several times. I repeated those affirmations, positive self-talk. And then when I got back in the building, in the elevator, I started to tear up. I was beginning to have a breakthrough. The tears were coming. When I got in the room, I sat down and I wept. I stood there and wept, and I thanked God for my life and for this moment to feel. I was so happy. And I knew there were tears of joy because I didn't feel like screaming. It wasn't an angry crying or a frustration. It was true, unadulterated bliss, blissful crying. And I sat down and I embraced my child. I continued to tell him how beautiful he is, how perfect his body is, everything about him. And it's just right, and I'm so glad he's here. And we hugged. Me and the boy, we bonded. My child and I, we bonded. and I felt great, great catharsis, great relief and peace. It was a real, real catharsis. It was an inner sobbing, and it just came out, and it felt so cleansing and peaceful. And I'm so grateful, and I'm looking forward to more of those. So I'm healing today, and I wanted to share it with you that if you just stick at this, stick to it, and keep going despite all the darkness that you're going through and all the hard times you're going through, there is light, there is hope, and we can heal from this disease of family dysfunction, from this core of toxic shame, and we will get better. We'll be able to lift ourselves up and be at peace with ourselves and realize we don't need anybody else to validate us, to validate our existence. Nobody, just ourselves. And that is such a beautiful thing to be aware of, that nobody else can provide that validation to me. Only my loving parent can heal this child with the help of God, higher power. And that is the moral of the story today. Keep turning to HP. Wait, because things will happen in God's time, and things will happen exactly how they're supposed to. Everything is exactly how it's supposed to right now. It's supposed to be. Sometimes it's hard to accept, and it's painful, very painful, but it's exactly how it's supposed to be. So I feel really good, and this passes. Everything passes. Good moments, bad moments, and it'll come and go. There'll be trials today. There will always be trials like that. And then I just have to turn to God again and ask for help during those trials. And then the reading, it is a good point. It says take time in. So reflect inward, reflect on what's going on, turn to God, turn to my higher power, and ask for help. Because that's where the answer is. That's where my defense from the disease must come from, is the higher power. So I wish you good luck today in your journey. And I know that mine is really still going on, and it will continue because it's a journey. It's a life journey. I'm going to heal. So until next time, I wish you the best, and we'll talk soon.